Have you ever realized that majority, actually all of the best episodes from Mushoku Tensei, or for any anime, is when it's focused on one thing and one thing alone for that episode. It's not all over the place. It's not showing many perspectives, and when it has to, and there's a purpose to it, it never beats the ones where it's focal on one thing and one thing only. Those episodes are always the best because when you have focus on something, you pay attention to it. You put so much detail to it to the point where you have a good explanation and viewpoint for it. You know, you're watching like, oh, okay, this is getting good. It's getting better and better. You're enjoying yourself. It makes the episode feel a bit longer than it just being all over the place. You know, it doesn't feel rushed. It feels like it's giving the time and patience it needs to be a good episode. And that's exactly what we got with this, ending off the first half of season 2. Despite it being just an entire episode of Rudeus getting his manhood back, now the entire past 2 episodes have been about is Rudeus Selfie on a mission. This girl is on a mission to get this dude back in the game. That's the entire thing. And it has been entertaining to watch. In a way. From her creating the plan, getting the necessities, putting her in a certain situation, and even them confessing themselves in front of the cave, inside the cave, I mean, was good. It was excellent. And not only that, it was Rudeus thinking that he doesn't want to regret stuff. So he did something very smart. A lot of protagonists, for some reason, authors, when they write the protagonists in Japan, love to have them pussyfoot around. They love to extend the story. And when you do stuff like that, it really takes off the readers. Because you're like, why are you doing this? You're just prolonging it because you want the story to stay serialized and stuff, which I understand. But it was what makes and break romances in most Japanese stories. Because it prolongs, it stretches out farther than it has to the point where people will start to fall off because they feel like it's not going anywhere. This time they did just right. You know, they did just right. Okay, this is good. You know, this is good. We have the reasons, we have the plans, and we have the execution. And did they do it well? They kind of stumbled here and there, but Selfie had her own reasons of doing what she did. Whether even Breeze himself asked, why did it take you so long? Like, why did it take you so long? Why didn't you say anything? No one was, especially when people found out that no one was holding Selfie back from revealing who she was. And it's the same thing that happens, that Rudeus does, like I said from last episode. These very two insecure, self-conscious individuals will literally pussyfoot around something because they have the wrong perspective on something. And that's the problem. They're way too modest. And people who are way too modest are fools, according to my godmother. They're fools. And that is true. They are fools. And that's what these two are. We love these two couple of idiots that bumble around this romance. And it finally happened. You know, and even though Rudy's didn't was back in action in the beginning, Selfie accepted it and said, we'll figure it out. And they were reminiscing on themselves. She was explaining exactly what happened right after he left. And stuff I believe I mentioned in season 1 of my explanation of the reviews, where when she saw Rudy as unconscious and Paul was there, she immediately attacked Paul and stuff. Something that they didn't show, which I would have been nice if they showed in the anime, but they didn't. But yeah, she attacked Paul with a very powerful magic attack. If Paul wasn't the experienced guy he was, he could have been killed by that attack, but they're not. And then it went on days where she would go to the house and ask where Rudius is, and she'd be denied. But in the meantime, Lilia and Zenith would help her out, teach her things, you know, education and etiquette and cooking and learning to do magic and stuff. And she did all this to impress herself. In a way, we get a better look at Selfie's growth a little in the manga. You know, the manga has some weird parallels to it, but at least the manga did provide that, showing how much um, Selfie has grown, even showing how she is actually helped out the people that used to bully her in the village in a way, how they in a way respect her now instead of making fun of her and stuff. They're not friends of her, but they respect her, they don't mess with her or anything like that. So that's nice to know. Now, carrying the ED, we have our man Luke, and we have a little, once again, something from the past coming back again. Remember in the beginning of Mushoku Tensei, the first season, Rudius bought an aphrodisiac and stuff. I don't know why he bought it. I don't know why that man was selling aphrodisiac to a 9-year-old boy. Don't know why. But he bought it, and Eris and them were curious what it was. And here we are, and Luke even gave an explanation. The person who created that very famous aphrodisiac went missing, so now there's only very few bottles left in the entire world. So because of that, they're extremely rare and expensive. And Luke was going to sell it for emergency funds, but he gave it to his best friend Selfie and stuff. And even trying to explain how, because let's face it, Ariel was downplaying our boy, what was going on with his situation with Rudius. And Luke had to step in and say, oh, no, man, you don't understand, man. A man has his pride and stuff. So this kind of situation will slow him down, man. Especially if he can't find an answer to that solution. He'll gas at straws, do whatever he can to get it up. And that's exactly what happened, man. You understand this boy's struggle. Of course, a female would not understand this. So Ariel in shock, like, oh, okay, I misread the situation. I'm sorry. You better be. But yeah, I'm glad she understood because, shit like that happens. It's not good. I do not envy the person that has to go through that stuff. Like, damn. But anyways, continuing on. Selfie had aphrodisiac and she bought some snacks and wine. And she went in ready to battle. Went in the door, met the final boss. They sat there, drank, ate, and then Rudy's looking at her like, wow, man, she looks kind of sexy and stuff. And then it happened. It finally happened. Our boy is back. He is back. But before we get into more laughs, a crucial moment happens where he wakes up and he is scared at Selfie. I could have sworn Selfie was there on the bed because he was supposed to be scared that she wasn't next to him. I could have sworn that was how it went down in a way. But I guess they changed it up a bit. I don't know. Because I sometimes get the events from the web novel and the light novel mixed up together sometimes. And I completely forget which one goes to which one a lot. So I can't remember which one is where he wakes up and she's there and he's panicking, but she's there and everything's okay. Or I guess they did the one where he's going off the light novels. So I guess in the light novels is the one where he wakes up and he's about to have this panic attack. Like, oh no, please tell me he's having that thought. Like, did she leave me like Eris did? Remember, Eris jacked him up, man. Eris jacked him up. So he was scared out of his mind. But nope, she was there. She just got dressed to thank Ariel and Luke and came back and stuff. And Rudy had to check one more time. So he cuffed him a few. And the difference between Selfie and Eris is if Rudy had done that to Eris would just block him right there. Just punched him. Selfie is like, well, just not do it in public. Just do it in public. Like, she okay. Selfie is down for anything, according to the books. She just don't want to do it in public and act like you have some decency. That is it. She is down for anything. But anyways, this is why I think Selfie is best girl. And will see why she is best girl over and over again and stuff. They skip some scenes, of course. They skip a scene with what Rudius did with the bed sheets. Y'all know what? He added another piece to the shrine, if you understand what I mean. So he now prays to 2 Rex now. 2 relics, not just one. The other one's kind of iffy, but yeah, there's that. But anyways, carrying on with this information, Rudy is now, being cured thanks to Selphie, best girl. He goes to Ariel, giving his thanks, and now is offering his services for Ariel. So Ariel now has a very, very useful pawn in her collection, which is good. Now she asks, what will you do now? How will you take responsibility for Selphie going out of your way, saving your life in a way? And he proposed marriage. And Luke got all tensed, and Ariel went around and said, well, what do you say, Selphie Grey Rat? Now, Selphie is now a freaking Grey Rat, man. Of course, they said yes, and that's how this ends. Rudius marries Selphie. I always laugh, and the reason why I laugh is because let me wrong, Roxy. I do appreciate you. I respect you, Roxy. But you're overrated. Roxy, you're so overrated. And everyone likes Eris because she was mostly introduced in season 1, and she was very good. But she's too much for me, man. She too much for me. But Selphie, if you ask me, she is just right, man. She is just right. One is too hot, one is too cold. Selphie is just right, man. There's nothing wrong with that, man. It's the best kind. You get the best of both worlds in a way. You get the petite body, but in a bit taller in a way. So you get that, okay? That's nice. And you two are around the same age, so that's also a double nice. That being said, that is the end of Volume 9. So as I predicted, Volume 7 and 7, 8, and 9 were adapted in the first core, and 10 through 12 we adapted in second core. I'm not going to say much about second core. All I'm going to say is that in Volume 10 is one of my personal favorite slice of life parts of Mushoku Tensei, right next to 13 for how Rudius gets to know his friends more. Rudius' friends didn't get much screen time, mainly Cliff in a way. But again, Cliff was mainly hanging around of Alina Lays. And they didn't mention how, I'm surprised they didn't show how Cliff was supposed to show he's supposed to be worn out in a way. Which is funny because they didn't show that how Rudius was concerned over Cliff's kidneys because how much he had to do with Alina Lays to please her. And even in the manga panels, they'll have Alina Lays dragging Cliff. Cliff is just exhausted, man. He can't. He's hanging out there for dear life. They didn't do that, which is a shame. That would have been hilarious if they did that, man. They could have put that in there, showing at least Cliff having a bit of exhaustion and just being worn out for having to take care of Alina Lays 24/7. He's like, oh man, they're just dragging. They should have done that. That would have been hilarious, man. It would make the memes and everything. But oh well. I guess you gotta read the books to enjoy that. Now, Volume 10, I'm gonna like because it's gonna be the fluff. It's gonna be the wedding ceremony. Wedding ceremony, shocking reveals, and Rudius will have a bigger bond with his friends for a certain event that happens of Nanahoshi, which I'll not spoil, but it helps in a way. It helps him build a better bond with his friends later on. It'll show off their skills, where Rudius isn't the guy that does everything. Because one of the things a lot of isekais fail to do is when they have the main character just take care of everything, and everyone else just along for the ride, the main character can do everything by himself, because he's just so OP, such a genius. But with Rudius, it's going to show how even he will need help with things, and he can't solve all the problems by himself. It's why he'll have his comrades and friends with him, helping him with certain tasks, which I cannot wait to see. And we'll see that in the winter of 2024, I believe, or the spring. I think it's winter. Either way, I can't wait, man. Well, that's it for Mushoku Tensei, man. That's the last thing I was reviewing. I got nothing else to talk about. Then again, October is fall, is around the corner, so one more week for that, so I can't wait for that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox on Anime. Signing out.